Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Toy Shelf with Mitch Live. His continuing mission to explore strange new stores, to seek out new toys and new dioramas, to boldly go wherever toys are sold. Engage.
Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of The Toy Shelf. I'm your host, Mitch Live, and today's episode is all about Star Trek: The Next Generation. Was it the best Star Trek ever made? Yes. Yes it was, is, and always will be.
But what about the original Captain James T. Kirk?
Hashtag not my Enterprise, hashtag not my captain. But honestly, Star Trek as a franchise is just totally awesome. I mean, these shows were old when I was a kid, but I still couldn't help but just get engaged and totally sucked into this world. This show almost single-handedly started the fandom revolution, and with good reason. Today's toy line is another collection from Diamond Select. You'll remember Diamond Select from our Ghostbusters episode, but these toys have a very distinct box shape that differ from the classic Diamond Select box style. And I believe that this was actually one of the first toy lines ever made under the brand name Diamond Select. And this collection started with a great deal at a toy show. The very first, most iconic piece, Captain Jean Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise. Captain Jean Luc Picard. Captain Jean Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise. Captain Jean Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise. Engage. Pew, pew! So his box was damaged and he was missing some pieces. He comes with his little phaser, which looks very accurate. And I'm sure he came with a base or something. I'm not actually sure, but it was missing out of the box. I paid less than $5 for it. It was a great deal, and this started the collection. So now that I have, of course, Jean-Luc Picard, the captain, now I'm on the hunt for the crew of the Enterprise. And through my research, I found out that Diamond Select actually makes a ton of Star Trek characters. They make them from Voyager, Deep Space Nine, the original Star Trek. They even make the J.J. Abrams movie versions of the Star Trek figures. And hopefully we'll get some figures from the new Star Trek Picard series that's coming soon. Please, great overlords of television, movies, and pop culture, please let this Star Trek not suck. Please make good use of cameos. Don't rely too heavily on throwbacks. Create new and engaging storylines that just feel like Star Trek. But I'm sure that this new series is gonna please all the Star Trek fans, right? Because they're just the easiest crowd to please. So the next figure I have in my collection is Worf.
How many fish heads? 5.
So these two figures are actually from a later wave of Diamond Select Star Trek figures. The noticeable difference is that these guys are stuck in this pose, the sort of action pose that they've got going on. And all of the other figures from this series, they're more movable and more posable. So next I got Dr. Beverly Crusher. She came with a bunch of cool accessories. One of them is her medical bag. And she comes with some various tricorders, some charts, whatever. And the stickers on these accessories, they really do look like the information that you would see displayed on the various screens and devices they have on the Enterprise. They're great accessories. I like them. Good. Accessory good. Accessory good. So you'll also notice by the outfit that she's wearing that she is actually Dr. Beverly Crusher from the later movies in Star Trek: The Next Generation. You can tell because it's mostly black, which is their color at the top. That's right. They don't just make the crew of the Enterprise. They make the entire crew of the Enterprise with every single different uniform that they've ever worn. Those crooks, those pieces of shit. But I digress. She was a good price. She was a piece that I needed. It's a very accurate depiction of her, and I try not to be too picky, so she's my Beverly Crusher, and I'm very happy with her. The next piece I got is the ship's counselor, Deanna Troi. Again, they make her, she has her regular blue uniform that she regularly wears, and she also has another version of this outfit where she's wearing purple, but it's a skirt from the first season, I believe. Again, just the likeness of the actress that plays her is very on point. She is a telepathic betazoid with a complicated relationship with her mother. He was a fierce Klingon warrior who was about to boldly go where no man has gone before. Until a complicated love triangle makes things a little turbulent on the bridge. So a lot of these figures come with these little bases that they stand on. And to me, these bases look a lot like transporter pads, you know? So if you're gonna have transporter pads, well then naturally you need to have the ship's transport operator, Miles O'Brien.
Warp me to Halifax.
So not only do they make the main crew of the Enterprise, they also make a lot of frequently occurring side characters like Miles O'Brien here, and also like Ensign Rowe. And that is something I think is really cool. They make some other not so main but frequently occurring characters that I don't have. See, this is what I'm talking about. Other figures. You don't need to keep making the same figures over and over and over and over and over and over and over. You can just make some very well-liked side characters. Another piece that I have here, another version of a character that I already have. This is Captain Jean Luc Picard once he becomes assimilated by the Borg. And then he is then forth known as
Locutus of Borg. I am Locutus of Borg. Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated.
So of course, Locutus of Borg it breaks that rule that I like to not get doubles of the character, but that's a pretty epic saga in the franchise, in the series. I liked that character, so I got me a Locutus of Borg. And the last piece I have is Commander William Riker. Make some room. Come on, make some room for you there, Riker. This was a very tough piece to find. They make a lot of Rikers. They make so many alternate versions of Rikers. They have Riker when he's aged a little more. He's Admiral Riker, and he's got gray hair and whatnot. They have Riker in the yellow shirt. Lieutenant Thomas Riker from an episode called Second Chances. And just so many Rikers. So many Rikers! And of course, regular Riker was the most in demand and therefore the hardest to come across. But not as hard to find as some other crew members which are noticeably missing from my collection. The two that are most noticeably missing are, of course, Geordi LaForge and Data. And they seem to be the most sought after figures in the entire series because they are the hardest to find. I don't even think I've ever seen one in person. They make alternates of those characters, a lot of alternates, and I have seen some of them, but they are just a little too far from the original character from their regular look, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So if I ever do come across those pieces, I guess we'll just have to do an unboxing and do a follow-up episode and add them to my collection. So a lot of these figures came from a store in Hamilton called Bounty Hunter Toys. If you are a collector in Hamilton, I strongly recommend that you check out Bounty Hunter Toys. It's a great toy store, wall-to-wall toys. They have new figures and boxes that they're just manufacturing and a lot of vintage characters. If you collect wrestling characters, if you collect Star Wars, the Simpsons characters, those are just some of the collections that they have a lot of, but great variety, a great toy store. You should definitely check it out. There will be links in the description to where you can get yourself some of these awesome Diamond Select figures, and of course we'll also have a link to Bounty Hunter Toys. And I do really recommend this toy line. If you are a fan of Star Trek The Next Generation, you will not be disappointed with their likeness, their scale, their accessories. Everything is on point. Really great collection. It's been around for quite a few years now, so some of the pieces are starting to get a little harder to find. You may have to pay a little more than you'd like for a Data or a Geordi LaForge. So that is it for this episode. If you liked this video, please hit that like and subscribe button. I mean, if you want to. I mean, if you want to subscribe, that'd be cool. Or whatever. You could subscribe. Please do it. And of course, hit up the comments. Let us know what your favorite Star Trek series is. Let us know if you guys are stoked for Star Trek Picard.
And remember, you're never too old to play with toys.
These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its continuing mission to explore strange...
This is the easy part.
Its continuing mission to explore...
Explore strange. And one more time. Deep cleansing breaths.
These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its continuing mission to explore...
Strange. I can't do it. I can't. I've never had this problem before in my life. Oh, I'm laughing. I'm getting so hot. Cleansing breath. Oh my god.